Good gracious.
Keep moving!
What just happened?
We're caught in a trap, and we can't walk out.
We die in the cities at the same time.
Let's do this. You're in Diamond City now.
Get wrecked.
Time to die! It's on! This would be easy to get.
And we should go.
The fucking Mad Mike.
There we go.
Huh? Let's do this.
Now you're realizing what a mistake you made.
Oh, what the hell?
I'll be drinking a toast to your corn.
They always gotta fight back.
Sweet.
Blood in my eyes! Hiding? What are you, scared? I'm just getting started.
We're just getting warmed up here. And here I was thinking this might be a challenge.
Let's do this. Made it. This time.
Love me tender, love me true.
You point, and I'll shoot. Pretty simple arrangement.
Nick.
Nice day. Where are we headed?
I'd kill for a drink.
Yo,
Come to think of it, I have.
what's up? My stream, my shit, bro. Yeah, I just hit it up. Dude, I came down, I took the bag, had 2 handfuls, he comes, he's like, taking the rest. I'm like, oh, I guess I was only allowed a little bowl. You're gonna have the majority of the fucking bag. You won't even be here tomorrow. Oh yeah, he was what was that exercise called again? Oh yeah, sitting in his chair all day. I feel bad that he reminds me of my cousin who broke his leg by getting out of bed. You know about that, right? His ankle or some shit. He was like, oh my god, he's fucking dying. What are you trying to do? YouTube? Tour de Poopies? I'm good for now. I'm alright for now. I had a whole bag, apparently, so. She wants one. Who the fuck? Trying to tag Thomas in something and it's tagging some person I don't even know who the fuck this person is. I'm not even on my Facebook. You've leveled up, pick a new perk. Oh, you like how my Pip-Boy's black? Huh? You notice the color of my Pip-Boy? You have your radio? Yeah, I'm not using it though. I got a new weapon today. Can you, explain to me what the fuck it is? What is that? Does that have a barrel? Here, let me get into first person view. What the fuck is that? That's like an enlarged 44 Magnum. I'm gonna try it out, I've never used it. Alright. I'm doing a mission called... What am I doing the mission of? Fuck it, well. Find out what I'm doing. Ding. Oh, yeah. Now, who the fuck? Chuck Norris of Fallout. Can I take that music thing? Just kind of fucking Elvis Presley.
Play your cards right, and we stand to make a whole lot of money.
Auto sell yourself trunk. I like it. Gives me money.
Huh, hard to believe I'm roaming with my own.
Hey there.
pure relic.
Something I can help you with?
Yes.
What's the story with this place?
Well, for starters, my name's Chuck Finley. Part of a group of outcasts from the Brotherhood of Steel. We're from the D.C. area. We call ourselves the Brotherhood of Gold, and this bunker is our home in the Commonwealth.
Why did you leave the Brotherhood in the first place?
It's complicated, but the short version is, the Brotherhood of Steel started out on the West Coast, shortly after the Great War, and its original mission was to hoard pre-war technology. A little over 30 years ago, the Brotherhood sent a group east to explore. And, well, that group eventually settled in the D.C. wasteland, which is where most of the crew here grew up. Our leader was a man named Owen Lyons. So, in addition to acquiring technology, Lyons believed it was important to be a good neighbor and help out the local community, which eventually didn't sit well with most of the other Brotherhood. You see, we were involved in a massive project to provide clean drinking water to the D.C. wasteland, and, well, that's a long fucking story. Over time, more and more of the members of the East Coast Brotherhood chapter began to view assisting the D.C. community as a waste of our resources. Then Owen Lyons died. And let's just say shit got interesting after that. A few years passed and there was a power struggle, and ultimately our choices were to follow the 16-year-old mini-Hitler who was appointed elder by the West Coast Brotherhood, or to leave for greener pastures. Most people stayed. We chose to leave. That was 4 years ago.
Yo.
We headed northeast to the Commonwealth and been making a living here ever since.
Straight up, just used Hitler. I'm talking about here. Look.
Why did you leave the Brotherhood in the first place?
It's shortly after the Great, little over 30.
Sure.
And, well, that group eventually settled in the D.C. wasteland, which is where most of the crew here grew up. Our leader was a man named Owen Lyons. So, in addition to acquiring technology, Lyons believed it was important to be a good neighbor and help out the local community, which eventually didn't sit well with most of the other Brotherhood. You see, we were involved in a massive project to provide clean drinking water to the D.C. wasteland, and, well, that's a long fucking story. Over time, more and more of the members of the East Coast Brotherhood chapter began to view assisting the D.C. community as a waste of our resources. Then Owen Lyons died, and let's just say shit got interesting after that. A few years passed and there was a power struggle, and ultimately our choices were to follow the 16-year-old mini-Hitler who was appointed elder by the West Coast Brotherhood, or to leave for greener pastures. Most people stayed. We chose to leave. That was 4 years ago. We headed northeast to the Commonwealth and been making a living here ever since.
What are you guys doing out here?
We're on a bit of a crusade. We're here to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless. You know, in a world full of criminals who operate above any law. Now listen, sorry about that. Our entertainment options here are kind of limited. We end up watching a lot of Knight Rider reruns. But to answer your question, you could say we're like the Brotherhood of Steel, but without the whole, Nazi vibe. We generally believe that all sentient humanoids have a right to exist. So we don't start fights with others just because their skin or DNA is a little different than ours. Except feral ghouls. Fuck those guys. And come to think of it, most super mutants too. Bunch of bitchy little girls. Anyway, we mostly do mercenary work to pay the bills, hostage rescue, wild animal control, escort some travelers to and from major trading hubs, shit like that. We try not to be evil. And of course, we search and accumulate as much technology as we can.
You're in charge?
Me? Oh, hell no. I might be the oldest, but no one's actually really in charge. You know, we came from a strict hierarchy with the Brotherhood of Steel, and we all saw how great that turned out. The chain of command was so inefficient it would get us all killed if we tried that bullshit here. You see, according to traditional Brotherhood rules, everything has to run through proper. Theoretically, if an elder is taking a dump and runs out of toilet paper, well, then there's a scribe in the stall next to him. The elder isn't technically allowed to ask the scribe directly for the toilet paper. Oh, no. He's got to run the request through several levels of command just to wipe his own ass. It's a goddamn ridiculous example, but you get the point. We're a small enough group and we don't need a formal hierarchy fucking us up. If someone has a mission, they recruit a team from within our ranks, and then they become leader for that mission. For internal disputes over stuff like who took so-and-so's yogurt from the fridge, well, a neutral arbitrator or jury of peers typically settles those little bullshit scenarios.
I wanted to ask you about something else.
Okay, shoot.
How can I get in?
Well, obviously we don't let just anyone in. The only reason you made it through the front door is our scouts spotted you a mile away and radioed in that you matched the description of the person who's been taking out raiders lately. So we turned off the turrets and figured we'd give you an audience. We work on a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours system here. If you want in, you gotta do something for us first.
So, what did you have in mind? I'm gonna need some more in the way of details.
The job is to retrieve a weapon for one of our brothers. As background, we do a fair amount of work transporting traders and patrons to and from Fusion City. It's a goddamn dangerous job providing transportation through the glowing sea, but it does pay well. One of our crew goes by the name Grabthar. Well, he got denied entrance to Fusion City after taunting the guards there, and they confiscated his weapons and supplies. Anytech, the security division at Fusion City, never really formally charged Grabthar with anything, but the items they confiscated ended up being sold at one of their public auctions. And one of the items they took was Grabthar's sledgehammer. That weapon has a lot of serious sentimental value to Grabthar since it was given to him by his late brother Warvin right before he died.
Is there a point to all this?
Right. So Anytech holds public auctions every now and then, and that's where they sell their confiscated property. I think the last one was over at the church at Nantic Banks. Anyway, head over to Nantic Banks and see what you can find out about the auction and track down the sledgehammer. Bring the weapon back to me and we'll see about letting you in the bunker. Deal?
Sure, why not?
All right, I'll mark the location of the church on your map.
I'm happier than a tornado in a trailer park.
Best weapon against an enemy is another enemy.
Walk 100 miles if I knew there was a pile of caps waiting for me at the end.
Right behind you. can carry
Always
something
sell
if you
what
need
we
me to.
can't use ourselves.
Hey, Piper.
You know, the Institute has a lot of enemies. The Minutemen tangled with them once. The Railroad still does. I've even got some notes on these new guys. The Brotherhood of Steel.
That Brotherhood airship is hard to miss.
Yeah, the Brotherhood.
Uh-huh.
They just might have the.
You said something about the...
Suppose.
Right.
The only thing I.
Uh-huh. We should get going.
All right.
Ugh. Reporters. Piper,
Talk to me.
I think we ought to go our separate ways.
Sure thing. I'll head home.
Hey. Hey there.
Go ahead.
It's time for you to head home.
Come find me if you need me again, and I'll be ready.
Nice day. Where are we headed? Nothing stays hidden forever. At least, not if I have my say.
Yo, what's up, Super Gaming? How's it going? I can't believe this was a gift birthday party. Yeah. I don't get that at all. Yeah, I'm on PC there. There's FPS problem. There's a little low FPS. I got a shit ton of mods loaded. I think about 100 right now. What? No, I couldn't tell you. I know a good portion of the mods work on Xbox. They're even on the default Bethesda mod menu. So you can just pretty much go to the, you can go to your main menu to load in. You have like that, the mods thing on Xbox. Not before you, obviously not this menu, that more in the game, but the main menu. A good portion of mods are in there, from what I know of. And you can also get them from what, the Bethesda website? Yo, Dylan, your phone. Who is that? What is still trying to call you. This, I gotta fix my settings. Too many mods. Oh yeah, way too many mods. Oh boy. Don't, you have too many mods. Game just can't handle it. I think I've right now. And